Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now June 10th of 2020. This month of June, honestly, has been a very crazy month for cancel culture and everything that's happening in the media and in the news, and I just wanted to actually address something that really has gone way too far. And I'm sure that you guys have heard about what's going on with HBO Max and what's going on with other media outlets out there, talking about everything that's happening right now, ever since the civil unrest, and of course everything that has been changing with new PC culture. So when we look at everything related to HBO Max, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but by far one of the most popular cartoons in pop culture and in history, Looney Tunes, actually came back to HBO Max. They actually redid the entire thing. They brought it back to life, except there were many changes that were being made. In fact, really kind of changing the elements of the characters like Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam, where their guns were actually taken away. And this is something that I think has gone way too far with cartoons that are very innocent and don't necessarily mean much harm. I want to go over what HBO had to say, and this comes from Peter Braungart, if I pronounce his name correctly here. He's an executive producer, and what he said is, he went on to say that we're not doing guns, that's not drawing attention, but we can also do cartoony violence. TNT, the Acme stuff, all that kind of is grandfathered in. He continued to say that we're going through this wave of anti-bullying, everybody needs to be friends, everybody needs to get along, story editor Johnny Ryan told The Times. Looney Tunes is pretty much the antithesis of that. It's two characters in conflict, sometimes getting pretty violent. So, like I've said before in the past, we've seen a prime example of this happening with Star Wars, with kind of taking out the dismemberments and dialing down a little bit more so on the violence. We've seen a prime example of that, and they plan to do more of this with Marvel on, of course, the streaming service known as Disney+. They want to kind of dial things down a little bit. Thankfully, Bob Chapek is trying to change that, so hopefully good things are coming. However, just yesterday, this is something that was quite major to a lot of people out there on, of course, HBO Max. HBO Max, in case you guys are unaware, is a brand new streaming service that's the home of Looney Tunes, and they got Rick and Morty on there. They got a ton of material on there. But the problem is when a lot of these companies alter these movies, or if they actually remove these movies. And one of those films was, of course, Gone with the Wind. Now, I want to actually go over what, of course, HBO Max had to say in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter. A spokesperson said that Gone with the Wind is a product of its time and depicts some of the ethnic and racial prejudices that have unfortunately been a commonplace in American history and society. These racist depictions were wrong then and are wrong today, and we felt that to keep this title up without an explanation and a denouncement of those depictions would be irresponsible. These depictions are certainly counter to Warner Media's values, so when we return the film to HBO Max, it will return with a discussion of its historical context and a denouncement of those very depictions, but will be presented as it was originally created, because to do otherwise would be the same as claiming these prejudices never existed. If we are actually able to create a more just, equitable, and inclusive future, we must first acknowledge and understand our history. So once again, what they're trying to do is that they want to alter Gone with the Wind as a film. Kind of similar to what they did with the movie Splash, where they had to censor certain shots of Daryl Hannah. I'm sure that you guys were very well aware of that as well. This needs to stop, in my opinion, and I know that we're in hard times right now. I know that we're in this transitionary phase right now, and it's a very sensitive time. I understand that. But when we look at these changes being made, such as what happened today, the hit TV series, Cops was canceled. Live PD was canceled on top of all of this. You got Gone with the Wind getting exited from HBO Max, with, of course, a proposal being made to bring it back as an altered movie. And then, of course, what we talked about in the very beginning of this video is how Looney Tunes was altered when it came to its core characters, like Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam. Now, of course, we talk about Star Wars a lot, and one thing about Star Wars is that, yes, we have seen quite a decline in the amount of violence that you do get in, of course, these new Star Wars movies and TV shows. We haven't really seen dismemberments as much, or anything around those lines. And if there were any dismemberments, they were actually deleted from the movies. And that's exactly what Kathleen Kennedy did with a lot of the movies as well. So, like I've said before in the past, this is a very very sensitive time, and when we look at everything that's happening, on streaming services like HBO Max or Disney Plus, I think that there really needs to be a time where there's got to be a pushback, and fans of these movies and franchises should really speak up. Once again, I do understand that it's a sensitive point in time right now, but things just need to stay as is when it comes to classic movies and how they were actually done. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No, I'm not the one from night to moon.